Good morning to the hottest chat in the MF and game. What's good? WCS back with another one. Of course, I'm out and about handling business, but I wanted to talk about, something, a little bit of boxing, but I wanted to address the David Chappelle situation where he came back and responded to Katt-Williams' viral moment. If you remember, Katt-Williams had an attendance on Club Shay Shay. And, he basically mentioned some things about other black comedians that ultimately went viral. Now, we all know that, it was a lot of black comedians that was well known in the group of names that Katt-Williams mentioned. And Katt-Williams, man, truth be told, he's one of my favorite comedians along with David Chappelle. But it's almost like us as blacks, right? I looked at the moment of when they was coming up. That was probably a group of people he associated with. Even if it was in passing, he was associated with, because we talk about unity. We talk about bonding, sticking by one another and all that, right? So David Chappelle said that, yeah, everybody Katt-Williams mentioned looked like me, looked like us, right? And my take on it is, yeah, that's what it's supposed to be, sort of, kinda. Because if you are coming up and you're doing your thing, right, it can be any situation. But if the group you with are black, and we talk about, once again, having this union amongst each other, and we're supposed to be looking out for one another, maybe the energy and respect back then was more for some than others, right? And Katt-Williams looked at it like, these are the ones that I saw that affected my own people. I'm not in agreement with David Chappelle on G-checking Katt-Williams. I'm not, because to me, Katt-Williams was pretty much putting information out there about his experiences of other black comedians and how they treated other comedians that was black. So we have a group that understands one another. We're supposed to be moving accordingly. Productivity, respect, loyalty, and all this stuff. But yet you're mad because majority of the comedians that he mentioned was black. If we hang together, or we basically congregate together, communicate together, during those times of coming up as a comedian, because I'm not a comedian, but I'm just saying, in any sense of the word, it can be growing up on the block. It can be anything. What you experience internal to that group, of course, you're going to have an effect from those who are in your circle. You're going to have an effect for those in your circle, period. That's just the way it's going to work. You're going to learn how things work. You're going to learn how people act. You know what I'm saying? You're going to learn the behaviors and mannerisms of everybody in your circle. And then you black, and we talk about sticking together all the time and having this unity. David Chappelle shouldn't, you seem like you was on your political shit there, David. Like you talking about he didn't say nothing about a white boy. What if a white boy wasn't in the topic of discussion? You know what I'm saying? Why can't we just, if we have criticism, right? Okay, let's just say we criticize a white person, right? Then we have to look at it like, what did he do? It's always somebody asks that question. What did he or she do? Okay. And then they try to scale it down. Is that serious enough for you to be talking about that? Okay. Yeah, a little bit sort of kind of that was wrong and all that. Did it have something to do with racism and prejudice? Not so much. And then on the other hand, yeah, it did a little. You start going through those little brainstorming, drills and shit. But with Katt-Williams, man, if he expects a certain level of respect from his people. You know what I'm saying? And he demands that when he walks in the room. It was right for him to address the people that's his people, his skin color, on how they acted and how they treated other black comedians. David was on his political shit by saying, well, we should split it up. What if the scenario doesn't require us to split this shit up? Maybe we talking about in our group. Maybe I didn't have to split it up. I'm talking about what I was familiar with on the way up. That's what I seen on the way up. I don't have to bring in a white person when a white person's not included. Come on, man. You're going to get in front of, a mixed crowd or whatever, and you're doing a set. I get it, David. But I don't agree with that bullshit with checking Katt-Williams just because the people that he was checking look like us. The people he was checking was black. So what? If we don't demand from our own kind, you know what I'm saying, that sense of respect, loyalty, and all that, and we want to teach unity and sticking by one another, you're gonna have problems, especially on a professional level such as that. You're gonna have issues, bro. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You're gonna have issues. It's all about growing, progressing in life. If you're in a profession where you're growing and y'all are getting money, of course you're gonna have individuals that don't feel the same about each other, and that can lead to criticism. Internal to that criticism is the reason why they're being criticized. What actions did they take to put you in the mindset that you have, Katt-Williams, to voice your concerns and gripes? It was a reason. And look, it went viral for a reason, because what he said about Steve Harvey, a lot of people that can relate to Steve Harvey treating somebody like that, or they've been treated like that by Steve Harvey. What was wrong with that? I mean, what was wrong with that? We ain't perfect. We're a tough group of people to deal with ourselves, man. You know what I'm saying? We're not perfect individuals, but that doesn't mean that we every time that we critique one another on something, we have to include another race into it. Like, what is that about? Like, if it's pertaining to, do it. Yeah, if you got to include, but they have to have some type of influence on the topic. You just don't bring them in to even it up, to even the numbers up and shit, man. Like this affirmative action, you don't do that shit. You don't just bring it up to act like it's all about equality. You know what I'm saying? The equality is standing on something, a fall for anything. That's the whole deal. That's equality. You know what I'm saying? Your integrity, knowing how to be neutral and shit. Hey, you can support a group of black people for 30 years and fuck around and disagree once, and they'll act like you never supported them to just one time. You know what I'm saying? I'm just being honest, yo. Big Blunts and Boxing on deck. What's good with it, bro? Arnold Brown on deck. Salute. Shout out to my guy Los, man. Carlos Jackson on deck, man. What it do? Katt-Williams was spot on about the comedy. He's one of the greats. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And shout out to Carlos, man. Solid dude. You know what I'm saying? Champ down, boxing champ down here in the ATL, man. You know what I'm saying? Stand up, brother. And one of the real ones down here when tomorrow. That I know, the realest one I know down here. So I appreciate you pulling up to the live there, Carlos, for real. But when it comes down to like keeping it real. You know how people always talking about keeping the shit real? Let's keep it real. Let's keep it real. Well, Katt Williams was keeping it real. That's just like me. People will leave me inbox shit talking about, you know, my criticism of black content creators. It has nothing to do with the skin. It has everything to do with coming up out the skin. If you get what I mean. You're trying to act like everything I should put up with and surrender to, I should just take it. Everything comes from the inside out. Sometimes you can see people's expression. They can give you the vibe, and they can give you the, you know, they can check the box on some of the intuitions that you have about them, or their perception or whatever. You might be wrong. You might be right. Sometimes they don't have to open their mouth. You can say, okay, cool. I've seen it for myself. But then you have people from the inside out that say things and do things, and you know, it becomes very bad, yo. It becomes very bad. And you say, that's not a good person. And I'm thinking, you know, without a shadow of a doubt, Katt Williams look at it like, you know, in certain points, Steve Harvey wasn't a good person. Real talk. You know, he's just looking at it like, I dealt with him. I dealt with those other people I mentioned. It's a reason why I'm checking them the way I am. You know, you got people out there saying that Katt Williams used to donate money and didn't even let it be known. I haven't heard nobody say that about Steve Harvey. I'm not trying to compare the generosity, but I'm saying when it comes down to them stealing lines from one another and trying to denounce other comedians that's black, trying to act like they funny and then other comedians, not trying to, you know, allow everybody to progress alike and get that bag, as they call it, get that money, then you need to let it be known. How can you be mad at Katt Williams, Dave, when he just now mentioning the shit? He waited till all them comedians came on your Club Shay Shay. And then he went on. And the part that crushes me is that, you know, David Chappelle is one of my favorite comedians. But it's blasphemy for you to check Katt Williams when nobody said he was wrong, Chappelle. How many people said that he was wrong? Real talk, how many people said that Katt Williams was wrong? You're worrying about him checking a group full of blacks, but you're not doing the other the numbers. You're not running the other numbers on how many of those blacks said he was wrong. So in order for you to feel some type of way about Katt Williams checking his own people, you have to go over there and say, well, let me find some fault in what he did. Let me go over here and listen to these videos and see who said he was wrong. Who said he was wrong? You got to let me know. You know, Chappelle, you can't be up here doing this political shit and say, oh, you know, the problem that I had is that they all look like us. I mean, look like me. Why? His problem with who was coming on the show, he dealt with the group of people that he knew that came on the show. And they was up there talking. Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, you know, Kevin Hart. All those people, right? That's who he had an issue with on the show. Why go out here and grab, you talking about he didn't bring up a white boy, when it wasn't a white boy that came on Club Shay Shay that he had a problem with as a comedian? I think I just said it was stupid, bro. It was stupid. Real talk. That's when people, you know, they get into these political sets. And Chappelle, I respect him. You know what I'm saying? I respect Chappelle. He's one of my favorite comedians. You know what I'm saying? But he gets on these sets sometime and he knows how to talk his shit. You know what I'm saying? I like how him and Chris Rock, they know how to talk about current events and all that. Chappelle can do a set and talk about current events. I like that. I do. But don't bring a white person into an equation that deals strictly with blacks. You know what I'm saying? If we supposed to stand by one another, a band of brothers, and my brother's keeper, then if Katt Williams was at a point where he was his brother's keeper, and then he see what's going on, you know, including himself, everybody throughout the years, he see what's going on through the process. You think he don't have a right to speak on it? Hell yeah, he got a right to speak on it. Because he was there. It's just like me speaking on, you know, covering boxing in my city. It's just like me covering boxing in my city. It wasn't a whole lot of white fighters that I was covering down here in the ATL. Not because, you know, I didn't want to. It just wasn't a lot of fighters that was fighting down here in the ATL. Most of the white fighters that I covered was outside the grid. But even that wasn't enough. Because someone told me, hey, I know you put a lot of energy down here, but you know, they're not, you know, they're not appreciative. No matter what you do, they're not going to appreciate it. And I had to find out because I covered, you know, covering fighters in my city, black fighters, and then come to find out it's not enough. You know, one fighter may not have a career going on anymore. And a lot of these fighters want to be social media famous. It's only so much you can do. I think Katt Williams is looking at like, it's only so much game I can, you know, give y'all. Katt was out there giving, you know, attending comedians that we know right now who are celebrities, attending, and like D-Ray said, a female came up and gave him a stack in an envelope. He thought it was a number. And come to find out, you know, it was a female giving him some money. He didn't never know who she was. And come to find out, it was Katt Williams. That's one of his, you know, ways of giving back to the community. So Chappelle thinks he can't go up here and talk and basically have criticism for those people like Steve Harvey. Look, I ain't gonna lie, man. I sat up there plenty of times seeing Steve Harvey, you know, coon it out a little bit. Seriously. You know, when he said he don't care about, you know, he'll act like a monkey if he have to, you know, just to get ahead in life. I believed him. I believed Steve Harvey when he was up there making those monkey sounds. I believed he'd damn sell himself out to make monkey sounds. I believed him because he gave me every sign that that's the type of person that he was, dog. When I used to listen to his show and how he used to address black men and try to give them all this knowledge about trying to grow up and be a black man. You know, he tried to give dating advice. I say, bro, it ain't it. It ain't it, bro. You ain't it. That stuff you talking about, it ain't it, man. Fuck that, dog. It ain't it. Shout out to Bruce Gas, man. What's good, OG? How you feeling? Yeah, Dave tripping. He didn't mention him doing the whole interview. Straight up. He even showed Dave Chappelle love, dog. You know what I'm saying, Los? Run read what Ludacris do to Katt. So you wanna switch it off to Ludacris. I get it, Ludacris. Katt's put everyone on. Katt even got Kevin's ex-wife on his next upcoming show. Man, y'all trying to be messy. Y'all trying to be messy, boy. Man asked Tupac when he shot those two cops for the black dude and ran off. Yeah, he did. Katt Williams was spot on about the company. So somebody asked what the Ludacris. So a portion of what Katt Williams was diving into was deep because he was talking about the dark side of Hollywood that we've heard before. You know, people try to tie it into secret societies like the Illuminati and stuff like that. And And for quite some time, I'm answering this cat's question, you know, that talk about what Luda do, since Luda's important, right? So he was explaining about the dark side on how you get to a certain point and then you get those people that gives you the invitation. And he was going in detail about, you know, invitations, those who may have accepted those invitations, like Kevin Hart. And he was going in detail about that. And then he basically put it out there with other people that have accepted the invitation. And once again, I saw nothing wrong with him keeping it on topic about certain notable celebrities that have so-called accepted that side. You know what I'm saying? I mean, what's wrong with that? You know, if he said that he was going in there for a movie part and this had to happen and you would get this, and he wasn't the person to get the prize, he didn't get the 20 mil, he didn't do this and this, he's giving you a total description that based off the gift that he didn't take to get him to the next level, so to speak. And that was putting on a dress, that was getting, you know, that was pretty much getting the ultimate prize, the sacrifice and sell your soul. So other people's names came up in there that he know, you know. So we already know you know, there was different branches that you can look at on the interview that Katt was speaking about. He was talking about the comedians, and also he was talking about the comedians that has been a topic of discussion for quite some time about them putting us in a dress. In order for you to get to the next level, hey, funny guy, you need to put this dress on and continue to be funny. You need to do that. And you know, once again, he asked me about Luda. I'm gonna bring up freaking Tyrese. I got a picture on my phone right now that I sent to somebody to talk about shit like this. And Tyrese came out. You know, Tyrese, he's like, what more, you know, do you want from me? And he been going through all these struggles. You know, he got the lawsuit with Home Depot. You know, it was out there he was up there saying they was trying to take his daughter, and you know, he was just going through these marriage problems where, you know, his wife was playing him or whatever. But what disturbed me, the blackest man out there that speaks about this black truth and all that, man, he came out with these two white guys, these white men with a red dress on, a full-length old school dress down to the ankles, like they used to do when I was growing up. All mothers used to wear growing up, when they used to look like ladies. You know, Tyrese had on a full-length dress. I just seen Usher on the red carpet, looking like he just stepped outside a Catholic school, you know what I'm saying, and took a lunch break. He had on a blue skirt with a knit sweater top and a white shirt. You just had a professional player, athlete, walk in the arena with a skirt on. And all these cats are black. The only time I seen a white dude walk in with a skirt that's on this type of level, and you know, they Scottish or something. I'm not saying it's not out there. I just don't see it posted all over social media. But I think it was fucked up. You know, when people try to say, okay, well, Katt was talking too much. They didn't say he was wrong, people. They didn't say that man was wrong. They didn't say that man was wrong. If they would have said, you know, Katt-Williams was wrong and they was proving it wrong, cool. But they didn't say that shit. All they did was respond with some, you know, I'm going to tell you about this. Katt is this, Katt is that. Hey, one thing about it, Katt can hold down a room. Katt can move the crowd. He is. And we're talking about David Chappelle, who left the scene because they was trying to put him in a dress. You know what I'm saying? So why would you criticize individuals who Katt feel that was selling themselves short Whereas in David Chappelle, you stood on your 10 and you left and you said it got strange. You know what I'm saying? It got strange. It just got weird of what they was trying to do. So he left. He turned down like 50 million and he left and went over to Africa or something. But for him to come back over here and act like he don't have any criticism about what led him to that point to leave, don't act like what Katt Williams is saying is a foreign language to you, brother. He's here. He said he wouldn't cross over and put on no dress. People was mad because he said, Ricky Smiley, I won't do a movie with him unless he's in a dress. Because that's what people know him to be. They tune in better if he's in a dress acting like a woman. And that's how they saw him. That's just like freaking Tyler Perry trying to play a dude this hard, a detective. They're not buying it. They used to see him in a dress. That's Medea, bro. Some of his funniest movies is him playing multiple characters. And the characters that he's not in a dress, you really can't tell that's him, but you can, sort of, kind of. But then you look at it like his most funniest movies in a dress, and there's been rumors and stuff out there, but he didn't mention Tyler Perry. Because Tyler Perry supposedly was already on that side, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Perry came down in the A and bought half of a military base. You trying to tell me he didn't have pool? Shit. They got Tyler Perry Studios down here. Katt stood up for the guys like Dave. Yeah, for sure. Cutting braids and sideburns for $200 million, though. Yeah, you know, people say, well, you know, why he bring up Luda? Luda definitely, cut his hair. Yeah, he definitely cut his hair, and I think that's where Ice Cube was always adamant that he wouldn't put on no dress. But something else happened with Cube. You know, because, you know, when Katt Williams kind of explained the Friday situation with him advocating for it not to be a rape scene in there, when I seen Cube, I said, oh shit, that's Cube's lane right there. Oh shit, I want to see what Cube has to say. You trying to tell me they had a rape scene in there, you know, with him and Terry Crews? And Katt Williams say, we don't have to, I think the show would be a whole lot more funnier and productive if we don't have a rape scene in there. And they didn't. And the show came out just fine. But Cube came in there talking like he got dementia. You know what I'm saying? Like at the Big Three practices, they be bouncing the ball off his head. He forgetting his lyrics. I don't fucking know. He came in there talking all slow and shit. I said, Katt, is it something we don't know, buddy? You know, because, I mean, Ice Cube, is it something we don't know about what Katt Williams is talking about? Because you came on here talking real slow. I know damn well that a person that has this persona about them and not being a punk, a sissy and all that, and won't sell himself out to wear a dress. I know you wasn't trying to have a rape scene in Friday. I know that wasn't the case there, Cube. Because that's one of the cases I got respect for. Cube, you know, come up and all that shit. But this game is coming out to be dirty, and I don't agree with Katt Williams. And you know, the Ludacris, I didn't talk that much about Luda because he is a freaking, you know, a staple down here in ATL, man. People love Luda. But I'm hearing more and more things about situations about Luda that I'm like, damn, you did shave off the sideburns and cut your hair. But then again, when it comes to black people, sometimes they want us to look the part. You know what I'm saying? Like Michael B. Jordan. You know, his movie roles. Michael B. Jordan movie roles, he has, you know, shortcut hair, and that's that. So I kind of look at it like, you know, I try to balance it out. Because black people, we can grow them big fros. And I know Luda for quite some time, you know, wore the afro. And I wasn't mad at that shit. But if you cut your shit because you had to cross over, or you had to go to one of those parties, then that's a problem. That's a problem. And for Luda to come back with one of the weakest responses doing a track, I look at it like this dude's gonna try to make money off a song he made, you know, basically responding to Katt Williams. But I thought it was the weakest of everything. You know, just let your voice be heard, man. And not in a song, dog. This is not a motherfucking mixtape. This dude up here saying some real foul shit that you're a part of and what you did to get there, and you up here making a freaking a song about it. Man, Katt Williams will tear Ludacris up, man. Yeah, you can sit up here and you know, drop those one-liners and those bars. You know how Luda rap. You know what I'm saying? But Katt Williams got the gift of gab. He got the tongue to slice through Luda and break him down for real. Because a person like Katt Williams who know how to articulate himself with humor, oh man, that's a dangerous person, bro. That's a dangerous person right there. Turner said, come on and tell the truth. That's because they know to. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Philip said Katt Williams stood up. I say the same thing. He did stand up, bro. He stood up for himself. He stood up and put that information out there about others. And it need to be said. If it was all blacks, that means the group that he was coming up with, him being black and the comedians black, they all was intermingling with one another. You know what I'm saying? They was on sets together. Why wouldn't he talk about blacks if that's who he was hanging with? If they're all coming on the show and they talking all this shit, and Katt Williams is that freaking server. Katt Williams remind me of this. He has this server. You know, he's able to catalog all this information. You know, he's the type of person that hears and sees a lot of stuff, but don't talk that much. And we're talking about collecting all this information over years and years and years, and now he finally come out and David Chappelle got a problem with it. Man, fuck that, man. You know what I'm saying? Fuck having a problem with it. You should try to dive a little bit deeper as to why he came out and let it be known. You're bringing up a white boy. What a white boy got to do with a group of blacks? If the whole damn pool of criticism is amongst that group. The fuck we talking about, man? We don't have to bring in a white person just to mix it up a little bit and make sure it swirl a little bit different in the eyes of the audience. No, if it deals with a group of my people and it's criticism, then obviously the person that's dropping the criticism, their voice is going to be heard, and then the recipient who it's about, if they feel some type of way about it, they'll respond and either deny it or confirm it. And I didn't hear people up here calling Katt a lie, goddammit. I ain't gonna lie to you. I ain't hear them calling this Katt Williams a lie now. I didn't hear it. And let me get to this before I bounce. I think Dave wanted to go on Club Shay Shay. And you know, good point. Dave Chappelle going on Club Shay Shay, right? He can do what he wants, first of all. Dave Chappelle going on Club Shay Shay have the I don't know if it's gonna do the same numbers as Katt Williams. I mean, Katt Williams shit went super viral. Super viral, dog. It's sitting up there in the millions. David Chappelle, according to what the questions they ask him, it had the potential to do solid, great numbers. It does. But if David Chappelle is unwilling to speak on any of the points of criticism that Katt Williams brought up about his peers, it ain't doing big numbers. If David Chappelle want to go over there and talk about Katt Williams calling out those black comedians and basically trying to debunk what Katt Williams saying that was true, it may do big numbers. If he goes on there and just talk about Katt Williams, what he shouldn't have done, it ain't gonna do shit. Because people have seen that over and over and clipped it, sliced it just like peach cobbler, apple pie, all that shit. They're gonna look at David Chappelle different. So that's why that's why Chappelle has not been on Club Shay yet. Because if he goes on there and just try to take shots at Katt Williams, guess what, big dog? You're doing the same thing you criticizing Katt Williams for. The brother went out here and talked about shit he knew. You come on Club Shay Shay and you want to talk about the nigga that was talking about the rest of the niggas. How are you going to be any more right? If you wasn't a part, if you wasn't even closely associated with that group that he's talking about, you can't go ahead and debunk shit. You know what I'm saying? You can't go ahead and debunk and come on here and say, well, you know, this is the problem that I had, Shannon, about the whole Katt Williams. David know he better goddamn tread lightly because the blacks will come for his ass. Because I can tell you right now, the blacks are fucking with Katt. The blacks are fucking with Katt. Chappelle come over there and try to talk this shit and criticizing Katt Williams. They're going to say, you're doing the same damn thing you said Katt Williams was doing. But you're doing it in reaction to him talking about experiences that he was actually a part of. So who's fucked up? You know what I'm saying? Like how does this even clean things up there, Chappelle? He probably talked bad about, and this is another thing, right? You got, just like on this YTC, you got cats who friends with other cats, right? Dudes who's friends with other dudes. You got comedians that's friends with other comedians. Chappelle may be friends with some of those comedians that Katt raked across the coals. And he got to make the conscious decision on whether he want to defend that. Even though he probably say Katt Williams was talking some real shit, he needs to be careful that he don't come in there and burn himself to the ground. Because Katt Williams was giving you all the love, brother. He was giving you, D.L. Hughley, he was giving y'all the love. He said no disrespect will be tolerated when it comes to D.L. Hughley. That's what Katt said, you know. But it's Chappelle, he gave him love. And for Chappelle to not accept that love, I'm not saying don't be a man and speak up. But if you cannot put yourself in any other situations to basically devalue or to debunk what Katt Williams was saying, then you got some issues you're going to have to deal with, brother. And it's coming from your own people. It's coming from your own people, big dog. Real talk. It's coming. You can't just get on there and be mad at Katt. But yet, you get asked a question. Well, I got to ask you this, Chappelle. Out of all the situations that dealt with them comedians that he talked about, did you witness any of it? That's all I want to know. Did you witness any of that coming up? Is it something that you can relate to in the situations? If he says no, he's done. He's done. Is any one of those comedians your friends, somebody you would consider close there, David? Yeah. Yeah. I'm friends with Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart, he has some influence, but we all know he sold himself. You know, when I seen him, kiss Dwayne Johnson in the mouth, and they trying to play like they was playing a female male. They was sending subliminal messages to y'all. They was trying to act like, Dwayne Johnson was a female and he was playing the part of Kevin's wife and all this other bullshit. Just like they do in real life, man. They put you in a dress so people can look at you as being a sissy. They got on a dress, right? So that's emasculation in itself. That's degrading your barometer of your manhood. So that's where we at with it. So David Chappelle might be friends. I know he's friends with Kevin Hart. He may be friends with some of those people. And they was on the phone talking. And you know how that goes. Just like they do on the YTC. Hey, man, you should talk about that shit. You should talk about that. That's fucked up. He went too far. He went too far. And then Chappelle had to go on there and talk about, I got a problem. If he had a problem, whatever he said, if he got a problem with those, I don't have a problem with that. Like, if he got a problem, he got a problem with those individuals. He has a reason for having those problems. But when it comes down to the percentage of blacks that he had a problem with, all of them was black. That's his thing. He's encapsulating all of his problems generated black people. I mean, that happens if you're supposed to be standing by each other and you're supposed to be in a group and that's the set. You all are coming up together. It's like a blimp, man. All of you all are, levitating together. Y'all stand in a group setting. You know what I'm saying? Y'all getting money together. So of course you're going to have experiences, just like we have experiences on the YTC. You see years after years on certain things that people did, and see how they do this, and this. People are gonna know. They're gonna have the timeline, and that's what Katt had. Katt has the timeline. Chappelle is just reacting because some of the people that Katt was talking about was his friends, and he didn't appreciate that. So he's saying, you know what? I'm not that close with Katt-Williams enough for me to not defend Kevin Hart. So I'm gonna go up there and indirectly defend Kevin Hart and whoever else it was without saying Kevin's name. I'm going to say, well, he can have a problem with whoever he wants to, but they was all black. It wasn't one white boy in the this David Chappelle talking. It wasn't one white boy. And then, man, you hear the crowd. I'm like, what the fuck, Chappelle? Nigga, what does this have to do with bringing a white person in? And we're talking about black comedians on the set, black comedians being in dresses. That's a higher order. That's the concern we should be blinking our eyes at. Like, what? That shit, another one? Kevin Hart talking about he a brand and this, that, and the other. Before you know it, the nigga's up there with a blue dress, man. And then he started getting all these movies. And then he goes up here with his good friend, Dwayne Johnson. And Dwayne Johnson, they have said a long time ago on what he's not even in the topic. But he had to go over there and kiss his good friend, Dwayne Johnson, to basically show the people that he's a crossover actor. So they had to pretend that Dwayne Johnson was a female, but was really a man in this, switcheroo type of shit. And kiss the motherfucker in the mouth. And not to mention, Katt-Williams has Kevin Hart's ex-wife, Tori Hart, on tour with him. You see how all this shit is adding up? So you can't tell me that David Chappelle is not feeling some type of way about Katt-Williams having Tori Hart on the tour with him to send a shot at Kevin Hart. Because it is some conflict there. It's some conflict there between Williams and Hart. If either one of them had to be on stage and they allowed them to basically perform a set like battle rap and basically, you know, have a certain period of time for jokes, Katt Williams will destroy Kevin Hart. Because Katt Williams, one thing about him, Kevin Hart started doing this is his voice, you know what I'm saying? You know, he has this little demeanor about him where he'll start telling stories and then he'll change the tone of his voice. People are used to that. Well, I was like, why are you playing in the balls? And then I said, it's okay to play in the balls, but why my kids got to play in the balls like that? And then I see my son, he threw the ball, hit my daughter in the head. And I'm like, oh, you know, we don't look good as a family, a unit, and blah, blah, blah. You know, that's his storytelling. Whereas Katt Williams, to me, he just keep it OG when he's telling his stories. You know what I'm saying? He just keep it OG, like pimp status, when he's telling his stories. He don't look more like a gimmick. Kevin Hart, to me, which at one time, you know, I like Kevin Hart as a comedian. It just got to a point where he was kind of having the same shit. Like, I think he was funnier in Real Husband of Hollywood, the acting part of it, because he had a perfect group of guys to be around here for the goofy shit with the skits and stuff. But as far as him being on the set with Katt Williams, and if the format was like battle rap, Katt would destroy Kevin. He would destroy him. That's why he said him and Kevin has never been in the same room before. He would destroy Kevin Hart. That is a battle that Kevin should never even think about doing. And if he chooses to use Katt Williams in one of his stand-up, in one of his sets, he will get destroyed. He will get destroyed, period. Yeah, he may be making big money. I'm not worried about all that. It's just the point. You said use a brand, and you're exactly what Katt Williams is talking about. You said use a brand, facts. You put on a dress, facts. You know what I'm saying? And he's saying you sold yourself out. Well, guess what? Anybody can get mad at that situation, but what he said was absolutely true. It's public record. You said you was a brand, and then you came out with a dress on, shawty. What the fuck? Chappelle's defending you, even because y'all friends. Chappelle is defending you, even after you put on a dress. So how should we look at Chappelle? It was so much affected. It affected Chappelle so much that he left the motherfucker and went over to Africa somewhere. But yet you're defending Kevin Hart, which is a friend of yours that put on the dress. I wonder, is it ever going to get to a point that Chappelle, if Kevin Hart is going to be able to convince you to put on the dress too? Because back then, the 50 million, it wasn't enough money for you to put on the dress, so you had to leave because shit was getting strange. But the older you get, sometimes you might say to yourself, well, it would be great to do this and great to do that, being that I'm getting near the expiration date of being, you know, an active actor or something, or being in the movie or whatever the case. I mean, I got respect for Chappelle and him standing on his morals and integrity. But at the end of the day, if you're defending Kevin Hart, who did something so horrendous that it influenced you to leave this country and go outside, but yet you want to come at Katt Williams, who's basically taking the same stance you are, Chappelle. You ever thought about that shit? He's really taking the same stance you are. He's defending against black comedians putting on a dress. You a black comedian, you went elsewhere so you wouldn't have to put on a dress because they wanted to do 50 million. Katt Williams say, hey, I turned down 50 million so this wouldn't be unvirgined. And then you saw Orlando. He was on there said, no, Katt Williams wasn't talking about himself. He was talking about Kevin Hart. You know what I'm saying? That's the deep shit. You're talking about a weird nigga too. He's talking about Kevin Hart, who took that 50 million to do that. So that's how I break the shit down. You know me. I use my imagination majority of the time. And one of my biggest gripes of it all, outside of my people incompetency, is that David Chappelle is getting on Katt Williams for saying it's a group of black people, but really David Chappelle is not giving you the whole entire scoop. He has friends internal to that circle that he's defending. He's defending them because Katt Williams went viral. And a lot of people are looking at these comedians crazy. So Chappelle is having conversations with the ones he support internal to the group, and he feels he should say something. But he don't want to come over here and really get involved, because the shit that Katt Williams was talking about, David Chappelle really don't know the entire situation. So what does he do? He go over here and basically say to Katt Williams, yeah, it's good what you were saying and everything, stand up, but why all of them was black? So instead of him just pinpointing the names internal to the group, he's goddamn encompassing the whole group and using the skin color to say, this is why I'm speaking up on it. I see through the shit. I see through it, bro. I see through the bullshit. Real talk. I see through the bullshit. What he really want to do is specifically talk about certain names that's in the group that he didn't like what Katt said. But in order for him to be politically correct, he want to encapsulate the entire group based off skin color. And then he didn't talk about a white boy. See him, he's trying to play both sides without playing both sides. You know what I'm saying? He don't want to come off as saying, oh man, I'm up here defending my brother's honor, Kevin Hart, a good friend of mine. My son loves Kevin. I'm up here. I don't want to seem like I'm just defending Kevin Hart because he went and put on a dress, and I left the country because I didn't want to put on a dress. But I got to find a way to just speak on it lightly and get the attention out there. And then Club Shay Shay might, get enough energy out here from the people to say, hey, man, Shannon, you need to get goddamn David Chappelle on here. David Chappelle knows if he doesn't have his shit together, this don't have nothing to do with you coming up there talking. If David Chappelle don't have his shit together before he get on Club Shay Shay and start talking about a situation that he doesn't know every fine detail about it. Now, he might come on after he gets familiarization with it. But I guarantee you this. If Shannon Sharpe asked him, was he there, present for some of the situations that Katt Williams was speaking on, and he can't give Shannon the YES, he's done. He's done. If Shannon Sharpe asked him, are you and Kevin Hart still friends? Yes. I love Kevin. Yeah, my son love him too, I love Kevin. I think he's a funny guy. Yeah. Oh, okay. Is there anybody else in the group that you're good friends with? If he say one other person, which you don't have to, but that one person, Kevin Hart, is one of the freaking the fires that's burning the most. That's the biggest fire of most of this deal. Real talk. Steve Harvey, yeah, it was a fire with that, but Kevin Hart, Kevin Hart, the shit he was up there talking about, you know what I'm saying? The shit he was talking about, the 50 million and putting Kevin on blast. Oh, that hurt. You know what I'm saying? Kevin Hart was on the phone with Chappelle. And goddamn Chappelle, you come on Club Shay Shay and he navigate his way through all the shit, and he get you to sit up here and act like you defending Kevin Hart, and that nigga done wore a dress there, Chappelle, and he say, hey, you left the country there, Chappelle, and your good friend is Kevin Hart. How do you feel about, Katt Williams, defending black comedians being in the dress? And your good friend Kevin He has been in a dress. He didn't leave and go to Africa there to Chappelle. He stayed right here in the US of A. He put on that dress and he wore it and he was laughing and he was giving humor. What do you think about that? See, he knows damn well that that's the line of fire that his ass is going to have to deal with. And he doesn't give the right questions without all that political correctness. If he don't keep it REAL, and I'm talking about authentically, being his good friend is Kevin Hart, he's going to be in trouble. Because he was a defender, him being Katt Williams, a defender of the dress. Chappelle was a defender of the dress. His good friend Kevin Hart pretended to be a defender and then became a starting player. Yeah, he wanted to play offense. I wonder, did he call Chappelle up and say, hey, David, I know I said Kevin Hart was a brand and everything, but man, the money is sounding good. The money is sounding good. And then David Chappelle said, Kevin, don't do it, Kevin. Don't do it. I've been there, Kevin. Don't do it. But you know, it's changing. You know, people won't think that much about it. You know, I get in a couple of movies, they never knew I wore the dress. They will always know you wore the dress, Kevin. Believe it, that picture would never go anywhere, Kevin. It would stay out here forever and a day. Don't do it. And Kevin, being who he is, wanted to be one of the richest, wanted to be a movie star. He wasn't giving a damn about what they were saying, y'all. He wasn't giving a damn about what they was talking about. Reed said the enemy loves to see us going at each other. Katt versus everybody, Dave versus Katt, it's all the same. I agree. You know. But that's where I'm at with this situation. We'll see how it play out. We'll see if Chappelle comes on, you know, Club Shay Shay. Why? Because now he's inserted himself into a situation that the person that he's speaking on didn't have any criticism about him. He actually praised him and gave him adulations, showed him respect. But sometimes, regardless of the skin color, if you have this type of situation, including a lot of important people, you may have a person like Chappelle who's choosing a side. And the way he chooses side is just like he does comedy. He tried to give you a political side and make it funny. And what he did was encompass the whole group when knowing damn well he's defending and protecting someone in the group. So instead of him just pinpoint Kevin Hart, he wanted to just say, well, as you notice, it was all brothers. It was all black people. Oh, no shit. No shit. You want to talk about it's all black people when Kevin did something that you left the country because you never wanted to do it. Come on, man. I'm disappointed in you, Chappelle. I'm disappointed. You know what I'm saying? I still, you know, support the brother as a comedian, but I'm disappointed in a situation like this that you know you're pretty much protecting your good friend. And I'm looking at it like that good friend probably gave you a phone call too, that David. And you all talked about this. And the more and more y'all talked about it, you got upset. That person got upset. And y'all kept getting upset her. And y'all angrier. You know what I'm saying? Frustrated her. And y'all continue to talk about it to the point David slept on it too hard and came in there and talked about it in a set. And you know us, we'll say, hey man, you know, before I get started with this, hey, I fuck with so-and-so. You know what I'm saying? I fuck with so-and-so. You know, I could be petty, you know, because I still haven't got my money yet. You know what I'm saying? A1. And you can say what you want there, Keon. But nigga, the reason why I keep bringing your name up is because you vouch for the nigga. You know what I'm saying? That nigga still haven't paid my money. But you vouch for him. But I remember when I was telling Keon about Julina. I said, man, he ain't going to give you your credit. His ego too big. And he didn't want to take my word for it. He said, nah, man, I fuck with him. I fuck with him. I said, okay. And what did it turn out to? Exactly what I said. He ain't going to give him credit for the debate, and they had a falling out. Same shit. Same shit. You know, blacks, we try to tell each other about, you know, just because we all black doesn't mean every one of us is good for the other. It would be good if we had unity, organic unity with one another. But history has just broken us up, man. Just tore us apart. History has just tore us apart when it comes to unity. Real talk. History has just tore us apart at the end of the day. But hey, that's all I got, man. I got to handle this business. I'll talk to y'all later. Shout out to the hottest chat in the game. We'll kick it again. I'm out. Peace.